Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, and we are talking right now with our regular MMA odds expert guest analyst, Andreas Hale, about UFC 217. A great card, awesome card, UFC 217 in Madison Square Garden in New York this Saturday. Andreas Hale, this is a great main card. If we're not careful, this might be a 40-minute video because these are five very interesting fights. We'll try to keep it at about 15 minutes or so, but this is a great card, right, Andreas?
Yeah, this is absolutely loaded. It's I mean, we have 3 title fights. We have a couple of competitive fights with in the welterweight division. I mean, even the prelims have pretty good fights there. So I mean, you're just looking at a lot of fun if you're a fight fan this weekend. But we're here to talk about betting value, and I need to make up for last week. I think last week was the first time that I've just whiffed on everything.
Yeah, well, actually, the video last week I had technical issues, so it didn't actually get put up. So technically, those picks don't get credited to your record. Yeah. So from a betting perspective, nothing that I'm really loving, but a bunch of opinions that I think I might be liking. We'll see what you have to say about it. Again, this could be a 40-minute video, but we're going to try to keep it as concise as possible. Let's start with the main event, right? Bisping against GSP. Just a great fight. This is going to be the odds are even, right? GSP, obviously a legend, and then you have Bisping on the other side. Now, not to take anything away from Bisping. I'm going to start with that caveat, but his last 3 big wins. Win over Anderson Silva, who was, over 40, clearly on the downside of his career. Then he had a great win, but it was a win on short notice. And a lot of times those short notice wins I'll take because you can expect the unexpected when people take fights on short notice from both fighters, So I take that with a little bit of an asterisk. And then his last fight, which was the only fight after that, was, came against Dan Henderson, and it was a kind of lackluster. People were saying he should have had a better performance there. So 3 great wins from Bisping, but each come with a possible asterisk. Now he's going up against, one of the all-time greats, a legend. Now, the big issue for GSP is ring rust, but maybe the time off actually helps GSP. He says he's been maintaining his technique and his endurance in the ring, and he is 2 years younger than Bisping. So I'm putting it all together. I'm thinking GSP at -110 might actually be an excellent bet.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight because the biggest issue is that when was the last time we've seen a fighter that's been gone from the octagon for 4 years make his return and go up in a heavier weight class? But he's against a guy like you just said. Bisping hasn't been terribly impressive. I mean, he won the middleweight title, but he hasn't fought anybody in the top 10 aside from Luke Rockhold. And Anderson Silva, is a shell of his former self. So the thing you have to look at is this: we'll find out very quickly whether GSP is shot or not. If he's able to take down Bisping, which I fully expect him to do, I have him winning this fight by unanimous decision. This is what I expect. This is what I think will happen. It's just that 4 years is a long time away from the octagon for anybody to get back in there with a high-octane volume striker like Michael Bisping. Even though he doesn't hit hard, it's just a lot to deal with, especially with the weight change.
Right. 4 years, yes, is a long time. But if anyone can do it, do you think that GSP would in any way, I mean, maybe he shouldn't be attempting a comeback here at this stage in his career, but for this fight, for this match, would he be coming back if he wasn't fully ready to pick up where he left off?
Well, you never really know until you get into the octagon. A lot of guys say that they're ready, then they get in there and deal with the fight itself and fold. But GSP is a guy, I think he handpicked this fight. I think he knew what he wanted. He saw Michael Bisping. He saw the opportunity to win a world championship in another weight class against an opponent who's, for all intents and purposes, is not really that good and that dangerous. So that being said, I think GSP is going to be smart here. I think he made the smart pick for his opponent. And I think you're absolutely right. I think he's going to be ready for at least for Michael Bisping, if nothing else. And I would definitely pick him to win a unanimous decision here.
Yeah, and my next question is the line. It's just -110 on both sides right now, and obviously, people who break this down a little bit in a little bit of advanced fashion would maybe give GSP a knock for the time off from the ring. But still, you've got a legend here going up against an opponent who's been good, made a name for himself, but also everyone talks about the asterisks that have come with his big wins. Why do you think GSP isn't more of a favorite here?
It's definitely the weight, the 185. Even if you look at his last fight against Johnny Hendricks, he got hit a lot in that fight. I'm assuming that people will think that Michael Bisping, who was once a light heavyweight, could do the same. And GSP's never been a great striker, even though he's training with Freddie Roach, but he strikes to take you down. That's all. That's what he does, and that's his purpose. But they look at 4 years away, and they look at him aging, and they look at Bisping. He's been pretty active. So that's where I think the line comes from, because you really don't know what you're going to get. It's a dangerous fight to pick when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather spent 2 years away, and people weren't too concerned. 4 years is a long time in this sport. But yet and still, I think GSP is a superior athlete. And, I think we're getting a gift here with the minus 110. This even on. I think we're just getting a great gift.
Yeah. All right. So we definitely don't know. It's definitely an educated guess here, handicapping what's likely to happen in this fight. But I will definitely make GSP an official pick at minus 110. If it was, minus 160 or minus 200 or something like that, I probably would be thinking twice or 3 times or 4 times, maybe staying off. But at just minus 110, in light of everything, I will definitely make a GSP minus 110 an official pick. And do you want to make an official pick on this fight, either on the side or on a prop?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking GSP. What is it for GSP winning by decision?
By decision plus 247. So that's a significant underdog line there. Just betting that that GSP wins it and it's not a finish.
Wow. Yeah, I have to take the decision. GSP is one of the safest fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. He hasn't had a finish in years. And you take the 4 years plus maybe 3 or 4 after that, he hasn't finished anybody. Why would he? I wouldn't expect him to finish Bisping here. I'm taking GSP, and I'm definitely taking him to win by decision.
Okay.
That's my lock.
I'm sorry. I actually saw the wrong line. I quoted 247. It's still a big underdog line, but it's just plus 180. It's actually Bisping by decision that's plus 247. GSP is plus 180.
That's the only way GSP wins fights is by decision. And he's going to wrestle him. He's not going to stand there and strike with him. If he finds an opening for a submission, he'll take it, but he hasn't submitted anybody or finished anybody. I'm taking GSP by decision here for sure.
All right, plus 180. That's a good enough line for you for that?
Absolutely.
All right, Andreas Hale and I both on GSP here. You're probably right that if he does win, it's by decision, much better value, plus 180. But I'll just stick with the minus 110 for now. Then let's move on to the next fight: Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. Another great fight here, of course, for people who don't follow UFC too closely, MMA too closely. These guys used to be teammates, and there's now bad blood between the two of them. They're now mortal enemies. They're looking for to make the other one pay in this one. Despite the fact that there is so much bad blood here, just looking at the way they fight, I was thinking that maybe a shot with the over might be the best way to go, even though both guys would love to have an early stoppage here. Cody Garbrandt went to 5 rounds against Dominic Cruz, and we know how Dillashaw in general tends to fight. Even his finish against Renan Barao was in the 4th round. So his fights tend to go the distance or go late. I don't know. I guess even though Garbrandt should be the favorite, should he be minus 175? That's where the line is right now.
It's tough. I don't know about 175. I thought it would be like closer to 130. But the thing you have to look at here is Cody Garbrandt fought Dominic Cruz, who TJ Dillashaw patterns his entire style after. So anything that TJ Dillashaw does in the octagon, Cody Garbrandt's already seen from Dominic Cruz. So I fully expect that is the reason why we got this line here of minus 175. I think Cody Garbrandt should be the favorite. I don't know if it should be this wide, but if you put a gun to my head, the one thing you said, Peter, is this fight going over 2.5 rounds or 3.5 rounds. I fully expect that. I think these two guys, even though they want to knock out, I think they're going to be weary of each other. And if there is a stoppage, it won't be until late.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. My thought was that Garbrandt should be the favorite, but again, if you gave me a free bet on the side, I would take Dillashaw plus 155, but I don't want to make that an official pick. And then the total is over 3.5 minus 175. Again, I'm agreeing with you. I think that this is more likely than not to go over, but do you think it's worth taking it minus 175, especially in light of how much bad blood there is here? If one of these guys sees an opening, they might force the issue and try to get an early stoppage, which will either be successful or they might get caught themselves. Just because of all the legitimate bad blood surrounding this fight, I'm a little bit wary of taking it over 3.5 at that line.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. And the reason why is not only that, I mean, these guys have trained together, so they know each other very, very well. So one way or another, maybe Cody sees something that he can exploit out of Dillashaw or vice versa, that they can end it quickly. Minus 175 is just not worth it to take that bet. Even though I like it, I don't like it that much.
Yeah, I guess I feel the same way. All right, I will pass on that for an official pick. Then let's move on to the next fight, Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And Joanna, of course, awesome, absolutely devastating. Her line is climbing climbing up, though. And, it was like minus 600 a few days ago. And I was thinking, I'm not exactly sure how massive of a favorite she should be in this one. Gotten bet up. It's now minus 750. Namajunas on the other side. Obviously Namajunas is outclassed here, but she is kind of scrappy. Anything can happen in MMA at this level. We've seen this before in women's MMA title fights. Still, I wouldn't want to bet against Joanna. Maybe, again, the best bet is a shot with the over, because as devastating and unbeatable as Joanna is, her fights also tend to go the distance, tend to go 5 rounds. Over 3.5 rounds here is minus 200, and Joanna at minus 750. Rose Namajunas plus 525. Is the side bettable here? And what do you think about the over?
The side is not bettable here. I mean, anything can happen. The line is way too wide. Granted, Namajunas has only been 5 rounds once, and that was with Paige Van Zant, and she finished it, but she dogged her the entire fight. Dealing with a high-volume striker like Joanna Jedrzejczyk, she's going to punch you for 5 rounds, and I don't know if Rose can stand up to it. However, Rose is a capable striker, and she's a great finisher. So I can't bet that line. And then even the over is tough, because you never know. Rose could run into something here, and I don't like this fight at all to bet. I love to watch it, but that's about it. I'm going to save my money here.
Yeah, I guess I would have to agree with you there. I'd love to take Joanna here in one way or another, one way, shape, or form, but just can't do it at minus 750, and all the props are also a little bit too steep there. And yeah, even though Joanna has been mostly going to the cards in her recent fights, I'm just not. Rose might be too outclassed, and Joanna might actually get a finish here. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Jorge Masvidal against Stephen Thompson. Two dangerous stand-up fighters here. Thompson is minus 185 currently. He's been getting bet up. Masvidal on the other side plus 160. And despite the fact these guys are both very dangerous strikers, the market expects this one to go the distance. It's a 3-round fight. The over 2.5 rounds is minus 240. The under is 200 on the other side. I'm thinking at some point, if this line gets high enough, Masvidal might have some value or not. Do you think Thompson wins this one very easily?
I think Thompson is one of the best stand-up strikers in all of MMA. Even though he ran into a buzzsaw named Tyron Woodley, who has a hell of a right hand that made him kind of a little bit more patient, Masvidal's a capable striker. I think Wonderboy is the better striker here, the more technically savvy of the two strikers. Masvidal's got a great ground game. This is an interesting fight. The line is also interesting, because if it was closer, I'd take Wonderboy, but you never know. Masvidal could catch him with one. But either way, I really like Wonderboy here. I don't know about the finish, though. Masvidal doesn't get finished. He only loses by split decision for the most part throughout his entire career, if you look at his record. I'm staying off of this one as well. It's just another one I just want to watch, and I just can't see anything of value there that I really want to sink my teeth into.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Wonderboy had the 2 fights against Tyron Woodley, which both went to the cards. But before that, he was getting a lot of finishes. He finished Hendricks and Ellenberger and Masvidal too. I mean, he finished Cerrone, he finished Ellenberger. I'm thinking maybe at plus 200, a shot with the under 2.5 rounds. Do you think that's not even a high enough underdog line to take a shot with?
It's. I'm not going to make it a lock, but I would take it. If you have some money to spend and you're itching and you're not seeing anything else on this card, I would take that, because, Wonderboy is a fully capable finisher. He finishes guys with head kicks. He finishes guys with body strikes. Masvidal is the same. When he wins fights, he finishes people. So I like the line. I don't like it to make it a lock, but I do like the plus 200 for this fight to end inside the distance.
Yeah, all right. That's a very borderline play for me. A lean under 2.5 at plus 200. And then let's move on to the 5th fight, which was a fight that I did bet, and I want to give as a pick here. It's Paulo Borrachinha against Johnny Hendricks, and I like Paulo here, except that the line is climbing up. It's definitely climbed up since I last bet it. It's now all the way up to minus 260. Hendricks on the other side is a plus 220. We know, of course, that Hendricks has had a lot of problems making weight. He's reportedly overweight for this fight as well, but that he's going to be okay by weigh-in. But Hendricks is just a guy who looks very beatable here, and I'm glad I locked in Borrachinha at the line that I got. I forgot exactly where it was. Now at minus 260, it's pushing it a little bit. I guess I would still like him at minus 260, but it's getting a little close. What's your take on this fight and the current odds?
Yeah, when I first saw it, it was around minus 220, and I loved it. Johnny Hendricks has not been the same since USADA came into the picture. Whether you want to accuse him for using or not, his body just hasn't been the same. He hasn't been able to make weight. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Borrachina has never seen a fight go to the scorecards. He's finished everybody. So I like Borrachina a lot. I figure he's going to finish Johnny. Johnny got finished by Tim Boetsch in his last fight. Borrachina will probably do the same and send him into exile or Bellator, wherever Johnny Hendricks ends up. So I think it should be a finish, but that line, it just keeps moving. And even though Johnny Hendricks should lose this fight, he still has that right hand that puts people to sleep. So at minus 260, I would stay off. If it went down to minus 220, I think it's perfect. But 260 is a little bit too high for me. You think so, huh? You think he could? You think Hendricks might actually just catch Borrachina? That's a real possibility, if not a likelihood. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's just I don't like it enough. I think Borrachina is going to win. I think he's got dangerous hands. He hasn't fought anybody like Johnny Hendricks in terms of season and his veteran status and who he's fought. So it makes me want to stay away from him at minus 260. I don't think there's enough value there to bet it. Yeah, and the market is expecting, of course, a finish in this one. That the total, it's 3-round fight, but the total is 1.5 and slightly juiced to the under, actually, minus 120. Obviously, I'm expecting a finish here, as you just said, with Borrachina. But, with these 1.5 totals, in general, I'm usually looking to take the overs unless there's a big favorite line here. But actually, 1.5 rounds at plus 100. You have any sense of the total here? You think Borrachina is going to change up his approach a little bit, facing a guy like Hendricks better than the other guys he's fought in his career? No, I don't think he's going to change up his approach at all. I think he's looking at Johnny Hendricks as food, and he wants to eat that night. So I think he's going to go in there and look for a finish, which could cause him to be careless. It could cause him to get caught. 1.5 rounds is 7.5 minutes. A lot of guys can last that long, even Johnny Hendricks. So I stay off of that one too. It's again, this is one of those cards where there's great fights, but it's hard to pick some great value here. Yeah, all right. So far, Andreas and I have only given one official pick each, both on GSP. I'm on GSP to win, minus 110. Andreas on GSP by decision at plus 180. The other 4 fights are definitely interesting. A few leans that we're both liking on these various fights. Any of the other picks that you want to give as an official pick, or you just want to stick with the one on GSP by decision? I'm going to stick with the one with the GSP by decision. There's one fight that's jumping out at me on the undercard, the Mickey Gall-Randy Brown fight. Mickey Gall has looked exceptional. I mean, he ran over CM Punk, which was expected, but he also beat Sage Northcutt. He's only around a minus 115 right now, fighting Randy Brown, who I believe lost his last fight. So there's another pick I would lean heavily on. I'm not going to make it a lock, but for those of you out there that's listening and looking for something there, Mickey Gall he's a young, hungry fighter who's capable of finishing opponents off. So I like Mickey Gall there, but my only lock pick for this week is going to be GSP by decision. All right, great preview as always. Great analysis, Andreas Hale. I will just stick with the one play as well. Both Andreas Hale and I liking GSP. I'm liking him to win, minus 110. Andreas Hale liking by decision, plus 180. Andreas, thanks so much. Talk to you again very soon.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.